Yay, it does. We're live. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are. Welcome to Living World of Darkness, New York by Night. And tonight we find in a small apartment on the second floor, overlooking the restorations on the Ottendorfer Library, we find Rose. And she's basically doing what she does most of her time while, if she's not like doing epic stuff in churches or hunting visions. She's uh, she's actually just staring out of the window, looking towards the library. Still, there seems to be something of those visions just keep bugging her in the back of her mind as she doesn't look very happy at that point. But she's just sitting there so silently, so still that she's almost like a statue. She, yeah, is
Mm,
there what
While
we're
Rose,
gonna
while
begin?
Rose is while Rose is sitting there staring straight ahead, the remnants of the vision still quite strongly pounding in her head. There's a certain kind of serenity that being a medium is that her mind is almost in a state of zen at this point. Um, but she does get knocked out of it when there's a little tap on the doors, and then a ding dong of the doorbell.
Rose, she doesn't necessarily get scared, but there's this moment of, they're here. Wait, what? No. She, uh, she needs a moment to actually get back into the reality of this world. Okay. She gets up and she hasn't seen anyone arriving, and she was just staring there out of the window, but not actually watching anything. So she doesn't know who it is at the door. Just to be on the safe side, she obfuscates herself and activates Mytseria 1 and 2, and then
Mm.
she's just gonna open the door. Oh no, wait, that's what I was gonna do. I keep forgetting my own system. She throws a shadow shrouds like right behind the door, so that if the door would open, the person coming in would see nothing but darkness.
Okay. When Rose does open the door and peer outside, she can see a young little gangrel bounding away. It looks like Eleanor's just sort of decided that nobody's home with the wait, and she's about 2 steps with her back turned away from the door, just wandering off down the street.
Elena?
And she'll turn. Hey, Rose. Thought you went
Yeah,
home.
it's still the darkness that Rose
Does
can.
she? She
Hmm?
can hear your voice.
She can
If
hear
you
my
say
voice.
something, she can.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's used to you being invisible and shit by now.
That's true.
And And so Eleanor will just sort of turn on her heel and wander on back and just wait at the bottom of the stairs until she can actually see you. Is that the way you went home? Is it a bad time?
No, I was not doing much at this point, thinking. And Rose will, uh, with this, yeah, well, not with a snap of her fingers, because for fuck's sake, we're not wizards. But she will disperse the shroud, and she'll let go of the obfuscate, but not quite yet of Mythosaria 1 and 2, because she's familiar enough with certain arts that are performed within the Sabbat, so she's not entirely sure if that's Elena, especially not after her talk with Frank. So,
Yeah,
would
dude.
you like to come in?
I was kind of hoping so. You know how I gave you all my books?
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't have any books to read, and I was wondering if I could borrow them back, please? At least one or two.
You can have them all.
No, they're for you. I'm just using you as a library right now because I have nowhere to put them. But I would like one or two.
Just come in. I have them here.
Eleanor will come on in. As she wanders past you, get a certain kind of smell off her, and that is just ocean. And she actually looks like she's got sand and stuff in her hair. She'll pound the boots outside on the floor and just get a bit of sand off and just shake herself a bit, but then come in.
Rose is shaking her head a little bit. She's like, wow. Almost like his sire.
What?
Would you like to take a shower?
I would love to take a shower because seawater only gets you so clean. And I'm living in a cave.
If you want to have a place like an apartment, if you really want to, you can stay here, and I could go
Oh,
to university, or could stay
no,
here
no,
together for a while.
I wouldn't want to impose on you at all. And I'd have to ask Frank anyway.
If you were imposing, I wouldn't offer it in the first place.
Do you like cats? I have a cat.
I have no problems with cats. They might have a problem with me though.
I'll just tell it to behave and not chew up your shoes. I can do that.
And Rose just looks down at her shoeless feet, actually, because she never wore shoes while staying in the library, and it's kind of become a habit that she only puts on shoes as she walks outside. I don't think that should be an issue.
Cool.
Well, I'll show you around, and Rose will
Okay.
actually show you the apartment. It's not that big. It's like it has 2 rooms. The living room with a kitchen, and there's 1 bedroom and a bathroom. That's about it. It's all very soberly furnished. There's really not a lot in the house. She's gonna put two glass pitchers on the table. I'm afraid I cannot offer you a lot, but if you want to drink something.
Eleanor just shrugs. Yeah, please. That would be great.
Very well, then. Rose will grab a bottle out of one of the kitchen cabinets and just pour in something in a pitcher, and then actually repouring it in a glass, a proper glass, and just hand it to you.
She'll take it and just begin to sip at it, but then it becomes evident that she's actually quite hungry. She'll just slam it down and pop the glass on the table and go, sorry, I was really hungry.
And Rose just smiles and refills it again.
And she'll sit on this one, won't just slug it down like a brute. She'll actually just pick it up and then put it down and then just stand up and like she's trying to explain herself to a teacher as a naughty child, she'll just sort of look at her shoes and go, I'm sorry I worried you. Frank said that you were worried, and I'm sorry.
Well, at least you're back. I'm wondering what kind of adventures you've had. But first, please take that shower.
Is it that bad? Ooh, it is that bad. Eleanor will go and have a shower and come back without further ado.
You will actually find that although it's probably like way too big for you, there's like a actually it's Rose's cloak that's lying waiting for you, so you can just wrap it around you as Rose just sticks out her hand and says, "Can I have your clothes, please?"
You're not gonna do a Leonardo on me, are you? And I find them in the bin.
I was just planning to wash them, or actually to have them washed because it's rather difficult to go to a what do you call it? Laundry.
Laundromat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
Okay. And Eleanor will just shrug out of the clothes and the jacket and everything and just strip down to just her pants and a shirt and wander off into the bathroom and get changed and come back wearing Rose's cloak, which is way too big for her.
Yeah.
It actually looks like she's wearing a black sheet that happens to have a hood. But she's clean. She smells like soap, which is a first for Eleanor in the last couple of months. Her hair will be slicked back, wet, but clean. And now that her hair is slicked back and wet, you'll see little tufted ears poking out underneath the hair.
And Rose just she raises an eyebrow at that, but she doesn't say anything yet. Because being polite means not immediately jumping on things that you see.
Tact, I like it.
So, Rose just points at the kitchen table, which has 4 wooden chairs, just aluminum chairs. Let's go for aluminum.
Yes.
Would you like to sit down?
Eleanor will take a seat, but she'll do something quite odd. Well, maybe to you, but to her it makes sense. She pulls a chair out and actually just walks around it once like a cat deciding if it wants to sit down and then finally take a seat. Just go
Rose
with her
again raises an eyebrow but doesn't say anything as she just walks towards the window and stares outside again, just keeping an eye on the library. She then turns her back towards the window and leans against the windowsill. So, could you tell me what river you've driven down on? It's not very correct English. I'm sorry, I'm gonna blame it on time.
I don't understand the question.
I'll tell you a story, and you'll tell me whether it makes sense or not. That's if you're interested.
I'm your guest. And Eleanor just sort of wraps the cloak around herself a bit more and goes, I really can't leave right now.
No, that's true. I'm terribly sorry.
Well
I'll phone one
played.
of my I'll phone one of my people, and it will be ready in a few hours.
Thank you.
And
I really appreciate it.
Rose does make a phone, or actually, no, she does not make a phone call because she doesn't have a phone. She'll just write an email and press send, and in about half an hour later, someone comes to pick up their stuff, and blah blah blah. So that's done. Okay. I was standing in the forest. The colors were bright. It was day. The sun was shining, and the sky was blue, and trees were green. Well,
This is a dream that you had.
what do you
Eleanor
know
doesn't
about
know that
it?
you're an oracle.
Well, let's call it a dream.
Okay.
So, I came across a river, and as I was standing in the river, I saw broken eggshells going downstream. I had seen those eggs before, but it's not of your concern right now. The eggshells just drove past until there was a small nest, and in that nest there was one egg, and it stopped as it bumped against me. I held the egg, I protected it, and I took it upstream because I wanted to know where it came from. And as I was walking, I came upon an island in the middle of the river. And on that island, I found a nest. When I looked in that nest, there were more eggs. And those eggs held small, almost dried up hearts.
Eggs generally being the symbol of fertility, once used for the solstice festival of Yosta, which was then taken by the Catholic religion and became Easter. That's why the Easter Bunny gives eggs. Do you know that one?
As a matter of fact, I did.
I'll have to try harder then.
Next to the nest was a pelican. It seemed to be a little scared of me at first. It kept its eyes fixed on the egg I was protecting, I was holding. I didn't know if it was going to attack the egg or not. So I showed it the egg, but carefully. Okay, so I could snatch it away at an instant should it attack. Instead, the pelican approached carefully. It started to cry as it saw the egg. The egg already had little cracks in its shell as if it was about to break. The pelican cried, and its tears were blood as it slowly approached the egg. And when one of those tears touched the egg, it fell down, flowed past its beak, and fell upon the egg. The egg healed.
Make me a perception empathy. We'll go from there.
Let's see. Yeah.
Not even going to counter roll it. Eleanor's just picking at her nails. It almost looks like she's picking a layer of nail off her nails.
3 successes there.
That's really... She's very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Just looking down at her nails again, like I said, and is just sort of picking at them. But she'll just start babbling. Well, the pelican is an Australian native species. It's one of the last species to actually have survived the last ice age. There used to be pterodactyls once upon a time, which is why it's still one of the largest airborne predators of pretty much that hemisphere. So if you're looking for symbolism, you could say that the pelican is a representation of something ancient. The bird has always represented freedom, and so if we consider the symbology of the egg and the bird, then potentially it is the...
And at that point, as you stop for a moment, Rose just walks towards you, and she puts her fingers under your chin and just forces Elena to look up.
Eyes wide, doing as she's told. Fingers have stopped fidgeting.
Why was your skull cracked? Why was your shell cracked, Elena?
I don't know. It's your vision. Why would you think that it has anything to do with me?
I have my reasons. I've had these visions long before you walked nights.
You're older than me, so I imagine that's how it goes. But the thing with visions is, Rose, is that you never know what prophecy really means until it comes true.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know. What happens with you?
I was lost. It's a half-truth, so up to you if your mythoseria kicks in.
No, it does not.
Actually, you know the full story, so I'm just going to keep role-playing it out, and you let me
Mm-hmm.
know when it kicks in. She just looks up at you with your fingers still under her chin, and just looks up at you and goes, I was lost. And I know I worried a lot of people. And I know Lime is angry with me. Frank was angry with me too.
I wonder why.
Because he's protective of me. I do wonder whether that's in his best interest.
What did you do to anger them so much then, Elena?
I wandered off and I got lost.
Wandered off to where?
Just an island. I saw it in the distance and it looked pretty.
Not just an island, Elena. Because she heard.
Well, you know how we went camping that one time, and I had us race the dawn and jump off cliffs and stuff. That was fun. It was testing limits. And this island is a bit dangerous, and I was just testing limits again, and I got lost. Because it's a dangerous island. But I'm back now, and I'm in one piece.
No, you're not.
That's a lie.
With that, as soon as you say that with One Piece, you can see a tear just flowing past Rose's cheek as it just drips down, leaving like a bloody streak across her cheek.
And Eleanor knows she's busted. She will blush bright red.
Rose doesn't even say anything. She just waits.
Eleanor just starts fidgeting with her hands again. Doesn't really say anything. But I'm safe now, Rose. Can't you just be happy that I'm back and that I'm safe?
And with that, Rose will retract her fingers from under your head, and she just turns her back towards you and pours in a glass of Vitae for herself and just sips at it as she once again stares at through the window towards her library. Yes, you're safe, and yes, I cannot deny that it pleases me very much to see you again. If you really want to keep your secrets, and who am I to tell you to go spill them out? But I have the feeling someone hurted you.
Give me another perception empathy on that one.
She's not actually looking at you, so
Okay. Alright, in that
staring
case,
out of the window. So she could, you know what, I'll just make it, and if I score a few tens, and it has to be at least 2, I'll see it in the reflection of the window.
Sounds good.
No, only 2 9s.
Okay. You'll hear the cloak rustle a tiny bit and a little sniff, and that's about it.
With that sniff, she does turn around again. And
you just catch Eleanor wiping a tear. You'll just catch her wiping a tear quickly and then acting like it never happened.
I'm not gonna
But she's
push you
just staring
into
at her
saying
hands.
anything unless you want to. Sometimes it can help you cope with it, but I'll leave that up to you. I have enough secrets of my own to understand the value of it.
Lana just looks at her fingers again and just starts fidgeting, and then just tap her knuckles together and then just stop and doesn't really look up at you at this point, but goes, I was lost and I did get hurt. And that's all I want to tell you right now. She looks like she's about to burst out crying.
And that Rose will walk towards Elena, and she just, with her hand, she just strokes your hair just for a moment. This is not something she's very used to, but she just wants you. She wants to let you know, basically, that she's there for you. But yeah, socializing. It's being polite is one thing. Actually, socializing is another.
Learning on all accounts. As you just stroke the back of her head, like the palm of your hand just rubs against the little tufts of her ear, and like a cat that you touch on the ear, the ear just goes and goes for a little, get off me. And Eleanor just doesn't even realize it. It's just become a reflexive thing. And she'll just look away and go, I can't talk about it yet, Rose. I can't.
That's fine.
And I don't want to lie to you because I do trust you. You've shown me kindness.
Oh.
But I'm not ready to talk about it. And as she says that, she's actually hugging herself quite tightly, like she's holding herself together.
Then how about this? We'll send a mail to Frank. Let him know that you're staying with me because you don't have anything to wear and I can't really send you off naked. And you'll have time to think, to read, to heal, for as long as you need. If you need someone to talk, I'm here. If you need someone to specifically not talk, I can be here as well.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you for understanding, Rose.
As I said,
Thank
I
you for
know
not
what it's
crying.
like to have secrets.
Do you think that secrets, in the end, will tear us both apart then?
Secrets are like riddles. In the end, you'll find the answer to everything if you search well enough, but you don't necessarily always search by prying, as you put it. Sometimes you have to wait for the answers to come to you.
It's true. Eleanor just looks at the glass on the table that she hasn't touched. Do you mind?
Go.
And she'll just reach out and refill it and have another glass. And she's finally looking less pale and thin. It looks like she hasn't actually fed in a while. You will notice that once upon a time when you first met her, she wouldn't even touch blood. Now it's just become second nature to her. Read into that what you will. And yeah, she'll just sort of pace again and just go, well, definitely let Frank know where I am, please, because I worried him once already, and I don't want to do that again.
I'll send him an email straight away. If you want your books, they're in the bedroom.
Thank you, and do you mind if I crash on the couch?
go. It's fine.
She's still fidgety and she's still just standing a few steps in front of him. All of a sudden, just puts the wine glass down and still grabbing onto the cloak with one hand will actually reach out and just give you a big hug. She comes up to about middle of your stomach because she's quite small. She'll just put her cheek against your body and just go, "Thank you for being a great friend, Rose. Thank you."
At that point, you can feel Rose just tensing up a bit, just for a split second before she puts her arm around you as well and returns the hug. It's okay.
And with that, Eleanor will actually go over to the couch and just do the same thing of just walk around the couch once to make sure that it's acceptable, and then sit on it, tuck her legs underneath her, and just pop a pillow under her chin. And goes, "I shouldn't be sleepy, should I? It's not even 2 yet."
Rose will just leave Eleanor there and walk back to her laptop again. Starts writing an email to Frank saying that Eleanor is safe and that she's spending at least this night with her, maybe a few other nights as well. But she will let him know each and every night if Eleanor is staying with her or not. And after that email, she will retake the position at the window and starts just staring outside again.
And from her place on the couch, Eleanor also stares past Rose out into the night sky, into the stars. And the two loners for housemates are going to make for excellent conversationalists.
I'm pretty sure they will, and I think this is a brilliant point to end our scene.
Agreed.